What's up guys, welcome to the vlog. Today I'm going to be doing a day of intuitive eating on here. So I'm currently in Adelaide with my family on holidays. So I'm still working online, but I'm not working in the gym. So this is a bit of a break for me before we get stuck into 2018. Back in Melbourne in the gym, I've just woken up. It's about, I think it's 7 o'clock. And I'm about to do some work. So today I'm going to be focusing on eating in a calorie surplus, getting a minimum amount of protein, but I'm not going to be tracking macros. So I'm going to show you all the meals I have, and at the end of the day I'll tally up how much it actually was, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so for meal one, I'm actually pushing that back by about half an hour because I want to get some work done. So I'm just starting off the day with a black coffee, 600 ml of water. As I said, I'm about to do some work. I'm gonna do my goal soon, and then I've just got some mixed berries here. So we've got blueberries and raspberries. So I'll show you what I have for a proper meal one in about half an hour. So here's the first meal. I've got some granola and milk, and then a banana. So this will be my pre-workout meal, plenty of carbohydrates. And then when I get home, I'm gonna have a big chunk of protein. So this is the post-workout meal, and we just finished up our back day, so all I've got here is a piece of sourdough toast with 2 poached eggs and some spinach, and then a plain bagel with cream cheese, and just trying to get a heap of carbs and a little bit of protein for this meal, also probably moderate fat, and this is second meal of the day. So a few of you are probably wondering why I'm following intuitive eating and not tracking my macros, and it's a really good question, and I've also got some recommendations for who should do this. So currently I'm in a calorie surplus, meaning that I'm trying to put on weight. I'm trying to make sure I'm eating more than my maintenance, and my goal is not fat loss. If your goal is fat loss, and especially if you have a time frame that you're working towards, I wouldn't recommend intuitive eating unless you've been following flexible dieting for a long time. So for myself, I'm trying to put on weight. It doesn't really matter if I'm a little bit too high on my calorie intake, because in the end of the day, my goal is to gain weight and put on size. Whereas if I was trying to lose fat and I was eating way over my calorie intake, I'm not going to meet my goal. So for me at the moment, it makes sense because it doesn't matter if I'm in too much of a calorie surplus, and most likely if I'm not actually tracking, I'll probably finish closer to my maintenance anyway, because I'm not just eating ridiculous amounts of food. I'm just eating similar things to what I usually would, and eating when I'm hungry. Whereas usually I might be a bit more aware of how many calories I've had, so I might have bigger meals to try and reach my calorie intake. So that's what I'd recommend. And also guys, like, I've been tracking macros for a long time, so I have a good understanding of what's in certain foods, how many calories in a certain meal I'm having. And like I said, I'm not going overboard with my food selection. I'm eating until I'm full and making sure I eat enough protein, and eating very similar meals to what I would be having if I was tracking my calories or my macros. So if you're considering doing it, make sure you're eating in a calorie surplus, and have a rough idea of how many calories, and how many macronutrients are in the foods that you're actually eating. Alright, so we just got back from the beach and I'm about to have meal number 3, so it's roughly 4 o'clock, I think, maybe just after. So usually I probably would have had more meals by this time of the day, but because I'm getting up a bit later and just eating when I'm hungry, I'm only up to meal 3. So I've got 250 grams of white rice and then 185 grams of tuna. I've got some soy sauce in there. Also going to have Pepsi Max. Now I reckon my macros for the day, I'm not tracking, but first meal of the day, so breakfast, I would have had roughly 60 to 70 grams of carbohydrates. The second meal, which you saw, which is post-workout after the gym, would have been, I'm going to say, around 80 to 90 grams of carbs, and this will be roughly 70 grams of carbohydrates, but about 50 grams of protein. So getting protein with every meal, fats being relatively low, carbs are up nice and high, which is what we want. So I'll do a tally at the end of the day to see what I finished on, but I'll probably have another 2 or 3 meals before I go to bed tonight. Okay, so it's only been about half an hour since dinner, but I'm still hungry. So I've got 170 grams of Greek yogurt. I've got 1 sachet of this Uncle Toby's quick oats, so 35 grams of oats. I've got 100 grams of berries, or roughly, I'm just estimating anyway. I know the sachet is 35 grams because it says it on the box. Berries, I just get really good at eyeballing it because I have them for breakfast pretty much every morning. I've eyeballed 20 grams of peanut butter, so it's usually a lot less than what most people would think. So that's 20 grams I would have thought. As I said, I haven't actually weighed it out. Put in a little bit of sugar-free maple syrup, so no calories there, or very minimal. And then I'm going to have this bag of BSC high protein balls, and then we're also off to the basketball soon to go and watch Mitch tonight. So I'll take along this protein bar with me as well, just to have during the game. That'll hold me over until we get back, and I'll have one more small meal before bed. Alright, just got home from the basketball and going to finish off the calories for the day. So I'm going to have one of these Masashi bulk protein drinks that I picked up from the supermarket today. So I didn't bring any of my protein powder with me to Adelaide. So good chunk of protein, good amount of carbs, and low fat for the last bit of the day. So I'll put in my phone before everything I've eaten today, just to get an estimate of how much I actually did eat without tracking. So I finished underneath my calorie target compared to what I would usually hit. So I think roughly was 85 grams of fat, 320 carbs, and just on 200 protein. So recently I've been aiming for around 3,500. So even though I wasn't tracking, I actually didn't even reach my intake. So that just comes with experience of tracking calories and macros for a fair while. And like I said, I wasn't going overboard with what I was eating. So that's what I'll be doing while I'm here on holidays. If you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments box below about how to intuitively eat and some of the benefits of it. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.